So some people have called me a serial entrepreneur. I don't believe that's the case. I believe that as I walk through my life, I need something, so I go do that. For example, I have a printing company. Who needs a printing company? Someone that prints a whole lot of material. With all the businesses that I have, I'm required to print a lot of marketing material, business cards, etc. And so one day I thought, instead of me paying a printer, I'll open my own printing company and I'll print it myself. I used to hire out for website development, and that's a very difficult area. Website development. Either they want to charge you $40,000 or they want to charge you $700, and it looks like $700. But I did develop my own websites, so I'm a web developer. I have a business, metal recycling, called Green Earth Metal Recycling. It's phenomenal. Green Earth is a phenomenal company. Now you might think to yourself, chocolate and metal recycling, what are you doing? Are you a knucklehead? No, I'm not. It's the same personality. So Green Earth, it looks big and strong and like a man's world. And in a way, it is big, strong, and a little dirty. But its power, again, it's the, dare I say, it's the bitch in me. Yeah. And I go down there and it's a completely different environment, completely different, as I say often, it's a completely different milieu. And it just requires learning. So I learned. And now I can run a scrapyard, or I do run a scrapyard. I own a scrapyard. So one day I came home, and when I opened the door, my youngest son, who wasn't even in the first grade, he was in pre-K at the time, was living now in the dining room. And so I came in, and I don't tell people no. I do not tell my children no. So I said, "Oh, you've moved into the dining room." And he said, "Yes, I'm not living with my brother anymore." They used to share a room. So Armand moved into the dining room. He had his clothes in the china cabinet. I still to this day don't know how he got his bed in there, but he was moved into the dining room. And at the time I had one of these homes where when you open the front door, it takes you from the living room into the dining room into the kitchen. So the minute you open the front door, there was Armand's bedroom. But when I went to bed that night, I told my husband, we need a bigger house. So I immediately went and started learning about how one builds a house. I read about it. I did internet searches on it. I bought magazines, and I began talking to different contractors. And the last contractor I talked to went like this. Okay, it's going to be $1,013,000. And I thought, $1,013,000? What's that 13,000 for? Why didn't you just say to me, $1,013,000? Why did you say $1,013,000? It's because the 13,000 was no. I heard him say, and I'm the builder, and I'm going to charge you $13,000. And he pulled that out of his rear end. And so I said, really? 13,000? And he became angry. Why did he get angry when I asked him about 13,000? Because if it's 13,000, he could say, yes, 13,000. That's what's going to cost for this bedroom right here. That's what this plumbing is, 13,000. But he didn't do that. He became angry. He said, yes, 13,000, blah, blah. And I thought, really? And at that point, I felt him shove me. No. When he told me 13,000, I said, I'm going to build my own house. I went and I began researching how you build a house. And I went to all the cities. I asked them, what do you need? Blah, blah, blah. Everybody kept telling me, you're crazy. Oh my gosh, my neighbors called the code enforcement. Everybody was so upset. But you know what? I'm open to yes. I wanted to build a house, and so that's what I was going to do. And I hired an architect, and we went back and forth. We did on the design. I became a general contractor, and the name of that company is called Joe Carter Construction. Joe Carter is my grandfather, and he had died a long time ago at the time that I formed this company, but he taught me about construction when I was a child. I formed Joe Carter Construction, and I built the best blinking house one could build. That house has 100,000 feet of carved limestone from Syria. It has a Ludovici Spanish barrel tile roof. It has huge vistas windows so that you can see through. There are antique doors. And did I know any of this before I decided? 13,000, really? Before I said 13,000, I didn't know any of this. But when he told me no, I found out about this. And I built the house and I've been living in it for 10 years. One of the things you need to learn is how you buy something. Do not just walk into a place and buy. Before you buy anything, you have to research. Before you build a house, you research. Before you form a printing company, research, learn. It's not the other guy's responsibility to give you a good deal. It's your responsibility to learn enough to take a good deal. So when I first started, I didn't know anything about wine, for example. So I went to my wine rep and I said, why is that? Wine is obviously wine cheaper at Whole Food than it is for Chocolate Secrets. And my rep said, well, you should be grateful. I'm delivering it to you. And I said, I would just as soon get in my car and drive to Whole Food if I was getting it cheaper there than to get it from you. And as you might imagine, my relationship with that wine distributor was over because, again, that was no. But what I realized was it was important for me to go and learn about the purchase of wine, and I did. And right now, when you bring me wine, when anyone wants to represent wine to me, I know how to determine the proper retail price for wine because I took the time to research it and learn. This is what's important in business. You know, it all looks like you're just, hey, here's wine. It's not. It's also about learning. And that is part of the joy of being an entrepreneur. It's part of the journey. Learning your business. Learn what good chocolate is. Learn what good wine is. Learn how much you should pay for it. Learn how much it should be sold for. Always be open to learning. Be open to yes. Be open to learning the game. But talking about the world of August 2020, it's a world that is very conscious in the United States. The United States is very conscious, I think the world is very conscious as well, of its race relationships. So how is this Black woman operating a successful business in a place that is 94% white? I'm going to tell you again that I don't see color. I don't see the bubble that is created around me. This is the bubble that some people want to create around me. Right now, in the United States, I am overweight. I should be a size 4 or 6. I should be younger. I should be in my 20s. I should be white. I shouldn't be Black. I should probably be male. But if you don't see that, which I don't, I am open to yes. And if you tell me no, first, an anger forms. Then my mind says, oh, would you look at the time? And what that's saying is, you are wasting my time by telling me no. Because for me, my answer is yes. So the only thing you can do for me is get out of the way. So I always often find myself going like this when I hear somebody telling me no. I say, oh my gosh, is it that time already? I am so sorry, but I have to go. Because my mind is, you are wasting my time. Get out of the way, because if I said I'm going to build a house, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to build a great house. If I said I'm going to create a chocolate store, you betcha, I'm going to be creating a great chocolate store. Am I printing? You are going to love your prints. You're going to love your website. That is the point of it all. If I have children, I love my children. It's the reason I breathe. It is a way of being, baby. It's just a way of being. Just be happy. No is a lie. One of the problems with trying to teach this is that often you don't hear the no. You don't know when you're being told no. No comes in body language. No comes in words that are not spoken no. No comes in suggestions. Every time I teach children, I don't care how big the room is, I ask each child to come up to me and I tell them, tell me who you are. Tell me what you're going to be. Tell me what your goals are in life. And then I'm going to tell you no. And I want you to look at your watch and walk right past me. So the first child comes up. Let's say the child says, I want to be a doctor. And they come up and they're so proud of themselves. And they say, I'm going to be a doctor. And I start, oh my God, a doctor? Gross. Do you know how much blood there is? Do you see, when I tell you, oh my God, you know how much blood there is? If you don't know it, I'm telling you no. I'm telling you, no, you can't be a doctor. Oh my God. And then I say, do you know how long you have to study? First there's undergraduate, then you have to go to medical school and all that. Oh my God. And you know how many people drop out? And so they walk up to me and there is the doctor. And then I start telling them no. And the doctor is going away. And I lean over and I whisper, do you remember? Who am I? I'm no one. Who controls your destiny? You do. Tell me no. Tell me no. So as the doctor is going away, I'm whispering to them. And then they come back and they say, oh, I'm sorry. Look at the time. I have to go. And they leave. But I turn around and I hug them and I say, oh, thank you so much, because you know what? You're going to be the best doctor there ever was. Oh my God, I'm so proud of you. And every time I get sick, you know what? I'm going to look for you to be the doctor. And you see the doctor grows back again because the lie of no starts to come away. But I'm going to tell you something else. Once that lie of no is gone, it doesn't come back readily. You have to embrace the no, but once you embrace it, it is hard to get rid of. So the doctor comes back and I go through each child, and as we get longer and longer, one comes to me and says, I'm going to be a basketball player. A basketball player? You know how many people think they're going to be basketball players? You know how long you have to study? Are you going to be tall enough? How do you know? You know, they immediately say, oh wow, would you look at the time? They're gone. This is what I'm trying to teach you. Because no comes in many forms. And no sometimes comes from your own parents. You know, if your parent tells me, you know what, you're an idiot. That's no. I'm not an idiot. But you get told no by your parents. When your teacher says, you know, you're not going to do well in math because culturally, you know, black kids don't really do well in math, and but that's fine, you know, you'll do well. What I heard was, no, I am good at math. And I'm a national scholar, predominantly from my math scores. You have to hear no when it's spoken to you. No is, you know, I can't go out with you guys after school. I'm going to go study because I have a biology exam. And you're told, man, there is the greatest party. I'm going to tell you the girls that are there or the guys that are going to be there. It's going to be great. You can study for that test later. If you listen to that, you have been told no. Because wasn't it your plan to study? Wasn't it your plan to graduate with an excellent GPA? Or did you decide that you were going to go hallucinate at a party with people you barely know? No, they're telling you no. You have to be open to yes, and you have to recognize when you're being told no. And you have to know, no is most often a lie. Because who are you to tell me I'm not good at math? Who are you to tell me I can't go to law school? Who are you to tell me I can't be a construction worker? Who are you to tell me that I can't open the best chocolate store there ever was? Who are you to tell me that I can't run a secondary metal recycling? Who died and made you my father? Who told you you were God? Because I control my destiny. This is a relationship between me and my God, myself, and I believe my entire life, I believe I am the best Pam there ever was. And so are you. You are the best there ever was. This is a concept that you have to embrace, and you have to embrace it every time, because every time you get up, somebody tells you no. And I have been told so often, I've been told no so often, that if I listened to them, my behind would be rooted to this chair. I could not stand up. But every time you tell me no, I definitely get up. And that's what I want from you. I want you to get up. Get up every time they tell you no, because it's a lie. I'm going to tell you a story about the time that I was told no. I was seeking the professional services of an accountant. And there was something that needed to be done. When I say it needed to be done, it needed to be done. Don't forget, I'm the CEO. I'm the bitch. I'm the boss. Okay? I said, well, you know, you need to take care of this. And the accountant said, well, all my people are in a seminar, so we'll get to it a couple days from now. And I said, yeah, we talked about this before, and this needs to be done now. And the guy said, well, as I said to you before, Pam, everybody's in a seminar, and you'll have to wait. And I said, yeah, but you know what? I am swinging in the breeze naked without this coverage. So I want you to get someone out of the seminar and get my work done, because it's very important. It's crucial for my financial well-being, my legal well-being. So it needs to be done. Had I been a man, I would have been an aggressive businessman. That's why. That's why that guy is so great in business, because when something needs to be done, he needs to do it. But instead, you know what I was? I was an angry black woman. Look at her, angry black woman. But you know what? That's his opinion. That's not my opinion. And did I tell you I'm the queen? So I needed my stuff done, and it wasn't arbitrary. It was truly necessary to get this task accomplished. So after it was done, of course, he got someone out of the seminar. We took care of it, which was appropriate. And after it was over, we were deciding whether or not we were going to work together. And the guy said, Pam, you're a little mean. So I was like, angry? I'm not an angry woman. What are you talking about? And it really didn't click to me at the time what he was trying to tell me. So I said, if I need something done, I need something done. And so I'm sorry if you think that that's being mean or that somehow I'm angry, then we shouldn't work together. And I appreciate you taking all the time to look into my records and everything, but that's the way I do business. If something needs to be done, I do it. And so I was talking to someone else, my attorney, and I said, that guy said I was mean. What is he talking about? Do you understand? And he kept talking to me, and I said, he thinks I'm an angry black woman. But I'm an angry black woman to him. If I had been dressed in another facade, I would have been a great businessman to him. But it doesn't matter what image he picks up of me. It is who I am. I decide. I am the master of my own destiny. So I don't care if you think I'm an angry black woman. I don't care if you think I'm a strong businessman. I know who I am. And who I am is I am a great businesswoman. And I have decided I'm a great businesswoman. And I study and I work to be a great businesswoman. And when a great businesswoman needs something done, she gets it done. And that's what I did. So now I have another accountant. But I want you guys to know, he was telling me no. He was telling me, you cannot be anything but an angry black woman. And you know what I can be? I can be successful. That's what I can be. Because you know who I am? I am successful. You know who you are? You are successful. You're not a hard-headed little child. You're not an angry black woman. You're not some idiot from some other country. You can't even speak English. You're not too old. You're not too young. You're not too fat. You're not too skinny. You're not too tall. As tall as you are, playing basketball. You shouldn't be an accountant. You're not too short. You are the greatest you that ever was and ever will be. So you decide who you are. You're the master of your own destiny. And I am the master of my own destiny. And I'm the greatest business person you've ever seen. And I am not an angry black woman. And when something needs to be done, it gets done. I've spoken.